Hello, legends. How you going? It's round six, and a page on our site that's getting quite valuable at the moment is our peaking players page. So, just going to take a quick look at this with you. Now, one of the great things on our site for our subscribers, you're already doing this most likely, but just in case you haven't worked it out yet, you can actually very easily sync all of our report pages to your fantasy team. So let's say my fantasy team was Walsh King. All I'd have to do is find it, and there we are. This isn't my team, by the way. I've just pulled something out of my pass. Okay, so having a look at Walsh King. Now, the two things we can do with this is look at just plays in my team, or everybody bar plays in my team, or everybody. But for the purpose of this actual report page, what it's really useful for is just looking at plays in your team. Okay. Now, you see that we don't have the full roster here. That's because it's picking up parameters on players that actually qualify for this particular page. And the main thing it's focusing on is players' peak price difference. In other words, their peak profit from here forward according to our projection sets. So as you can see, if we're having a look here at Tanner Boyd, we've got his percentage ownership, we've got his average, we've got his last three average, we've got his break even, we've got his forward projection. That's actually his round projection here. Our forward projection for him is 53.1. Look, he started really hot, no doubt about that. But if we weigh up all the information together, average of 68, last three average 62, coming down a bit, break even of 61, currently priced at 60. So we actually have him with a forward projection of about 53 in the mid 50s, potentially up to the high 50s, maybe. At that, he's actually going to be starting to lose money. So if you didn't see Tanner Boyd as a absolute keeper, it wouldn't be a bad time to be hopping off him now. Okay, now saying that Tanner Boyd is a player that's averaging nicely above 50, so he's a player that really you wouldn't want to be trading. He's not really a cash cow type player. He's a more of a keeper, potential keeper type player, at least through the mid season. Now, Moses Leo's next on our list. Actually, next on our list would be Farlongo, but again, he's a keeper player. So let's have a look at Moses Leo. Moses Leo, we've got an average of 30.8, a last three average of 18.3. He's priced at 27.5. Okay, we've got his forward projection of being about 34.4, and he's got a break even at the moment of 40. So unless he has a really boom round this week, he's definitely in slow burn country and definitely a player. If you're looking at a player on your roster that you are going to gun up in the wing fullback center position, well, you're not losing an awful lot of potential value there in making that move now. Ethan Sanders has still got quite a bit of cash in him. Trey Mooney, uh, depending on his minutes, but we have him projected at 50 minutes, around 1 ppm. He hasn't quite been getting that for the last couple of rounds, but that could change in a real hurry. So, I wouldn't be moving on that just yet, but we've got all the numbers there for him. Coming down to Joe Chan. Now, Joe Chan's an interesting one. I'm actually spending some time today going over players that are outstripping their projections, and Joe Chan is one. So the numbers here are going to be different on Joe Chan in the next few hours. But again, if we actually look at the information we've got, even though we have a projection of 42.3 average for Joe, and that's largely based on his New South Wales Cup and past NRL performances. We can see here that he's currently averaging 57, last three average of 57.3, last score of 50, currently priced at 46.3. Okay. His break even for the round is 9. Sorry, that's his projection minus break even. Break even for the round is 33, which is extremely comfortable for him. So there's no need, really no need on those numbers to actually be moving him on. And you really can ignore the fact that we've got a peak price difference of 10,000 on him at the moment. Okay. So yeah, that's basically how this page works. It's giving you an idea of when's the right time to be moving a player on, and the information you're judging on that. You've got their average, their last three average, what they're currently priced at. Okay, our projection forecasts, what that works out to in dollars. So everything's there to make it really simple for you to have a look at your own team and see who needs moving on in your team. If I pull my own team up quickly, okay, so this is what we're looking at for my team. Far no keeper. Ethan Sanders, bit frustrating at the moment. Um, Priced at 38.4. Our projected average for him is 48.6. He's had a few low games. What have we got? 42.8. Last three average 40. Priced at 38. Break even of 40. So at the moment, he's looking like not making much money just at the moment. But the thing you need to remember, or even not even remember for a lot of people, the thing you need to realize and learn about break evens are they're very elastic. So what I'm going to do quickly is pull up our price break even forecast page. Here we go. Price break even forecast. Ethan Sanders. Okay. Now he's playing Souths this week. Let's say he just scores 43 this week against Souths. I'm expecting them to have the Raiders to have a hard time there. Maybe another 45 against Melbourne. Then into like a 58 against the Tigers. 55 against. Okay. We can see here there's a lot of downward shift all of a sudden in his break even. Okay. What you need to know about break even is it's very elastic. It's based on largely based on a recency weighted average of their last four games versus price. So if we have a look at Ethan Sanders' last four games, I might just do this directly in fantasy. So he's got a 27 round five, 43, 52, 34. So that 27 is very recent and he's having a large impact on his break even. As we go through the next few weeks, that's going to become less weighted in his four round average and have less influence. So there's a lot of elasticity in break evens, and you really shouldn't be using break evens to tell you when to move a player on. They can help you time it once you know the more important information. The more important information being um, more important information being what their actual potential profit at the time is, which is one of those numbers we were looking at before. Okay. Now we actually have another page that works very similar to our peaking players list, and that is our price drop watch list. Okay. So this page works very differently. It's a page that you generally look more from the perspective of excluding your own players, and it's letting you know how much potential profit a player like Joe Tarpanay has been building up whilst he's been slumping. So if we look at Joe Tarpanay, he's got an average of 42.8, last three average of 47.3, last score of 41. He's currently priced at 48 points. We should have him averaging somewhere around 57. Our projections for Joe Tarpanay are front row, average 55 minutes a game. He should be hitting a PPM of around 0.98, and he should have a 12 round projection of around 57. Now, his break even is 52. So his break even now is really um, very much around what we'd be projecting him to score anyway. So pretty much Joe Tarpanay should be pretty bottomed out at the moment. At this point, you might want to just give him that one extra week. Okay, because the reason being that, you know, if he scores 58 this week, well, he bounces up maybe 6K, no big deal. If he has another week of around 40, then you're wanting to kind of hold off until you see him come back to life again. But this is a very good page for keeping an eye on those players that have been losing value and are gaining value as a result. Look, thanks very much for your time. If you're one of our subscribers already, that's a really good look at how you should be using these particular two pages. If you're not one of our subscribers already, look, our site is not just player projections. Our site is not just player statistics. Our site is not just NRL fantasy game tools. Our site is fucking all of it. And for $30 a year, for what we actually provide you across our platform, and you should see what we're cooking up at the moment with our team planner revisions that'll be launching quite soon. It's an absolute no-brainer for anybody with a laptop or a PC that you can have. You do need the screen size. We do have people using it just on mobile and saying they get a lot of benefit out of it. We are going to be doing a lot of revision with how our site works with mobile over the next 12 months. So there will be improvements in that. But if you're a PC laptop owner and you're not using NRL Fantasy Pro, you're flat out just missing out. Um, footystatistics.com can't compete. Yaps can't compete. If you actually look at what those sites actually provide and compare it to everything that's actually provided in NRL Fantasy Pro, it's an absolute no-brainer. Thanks very much for your time, and we'll catch you later.